Let's get this show started. So, before we get into this, all right, I'm not running the show in Boston. I'm not running it in any of the big publishers. It's not Seattle or Chicago, all right?
Amsterdam?
No, we are playing in Miami.
Woohoo!
All right.
Close enough.
So, there is a hefty little chunk of background here that I want to communicate to people because whatever, it's the first time this setting has ever been put on stream, and I'm going to be consistently running one-shots and stuff in this setting. So, Miami set in Florida, all right. Now during the Shadowrun set in the future, right? So I think the year is currently like 2075. The United States of America and Canada had a merger, and so they are the United Canadian American States, or UCAS. Then the Confederacy was reborn and seceded, and so then there's the Confederate American States, was CAS. But then Florida gave the finger to everybody and joined the Caribbean League, all right. And pretty much the only place worth going in Florida is Miami. In 2045, that's 30 years ago, most of the Caribbean League was dominated and prominently run by 4 corporations. AgriCorp, a corporation specializing in genetically engineered crops. Imperium, one of the very few security corporations that aren't owned by Knight Errant or Lone Star, which makes them like the law enforcement and local government assistance and shit. Mayako, a corporation focused mostly on developing cyberware, specifically designed to capitalize on biological differences between elves and other metahumans. And Networks, a drones production corporation renowned for their wireless security and artificial intelligence research. The story begins in 2045 when Charles Dawson, the dwarven CEO of Networks, was pouring his funds into his researching technology that might be able to answer the coming spirit plague. He was crazy, but he could afford it. Apparently, though, his board of directors took issue with his fiscal decision-making, and they ousted him. He died shortly thereafter in a tragic vehicular accident somewhere in Miami. The vacuum left by his death was swiftly filled by an orc magician by the name of Rivero Ramirez. Rivero promptly executed the only 3 elven members of the executive board in defense of corporate assets against Mayako's corporate espionage, producing pretty convincing evidence to Imperium of Mayako's involvement. Whatever the evidence was, it was destroyed in a plane crash during a suborbital flight, lost to sea a week later. Mayako, thus found guilty of crimes against Caribbean law, settled out of court with both Imperium and Networks. But not long after, rumors that Rivero himself had been a corporate spy for Mayako, who turned rogue, started to surface. He denied the allegations, and Mayako refused to comment. The two companies fell into an economic and legal battle, Mayako buying up the swamp surrounding the Miami-Dade sprawl in response to Network-sponsored senators passing laws that favored Rivero's business practices. After a few months of Mayako units crawling through the swamp, running training drills, their headquarters moved itself outside of the sprawl limits, and outside of the sprawl limits into the swamp, where Mayako was free to begin operating without Imperium's interference. A year later, Mayako's shiny new HQ exploded, turning the swampland outside of the sprawl into a radioactive wasteland. Within 48 hours of the detonation, the investigation was over. Rivero denied responsibility for the explosion. He pointed the finger at a local anti-metahuman cyber-terrorist group by the name of Synth. Synth claimed responsibility 24 hours later. Since then, none of the leaders of Synth have been seen in public. Rumors in the shadows has it that one of them surfaced in a very cushy spot in UCAS under a different name, though. The rest of Synth was hunted down by Imperium, either executed, imprisoned, or simply lost. With Mayako reeling from damages, Rivero came in to deal the death blow and bought out a few key subsidiaries that were barely keeping his rival afloat. They collapsed, and Rivero merged everything together into a company now called Syntech, finally funded and empowered enough to set their sights on the Big Ten, even if they hadn't joined them yet. Rivero and several key figures of Mayako now form the leadership of Syntech's new Miami-Dade division. In 55, when the bug spirits broke out across the globe, nobody seemed to remember Dawson's investments. Recent events with Syntech and Rivero were way too pressing, and most people just seemed content to accept that Imperium was keeping Miami mostly safe. Nobody even seemed to bring up Dawson at all. 25 years later, the pseudo-megacorps that run Miami, primarily Imperium, seem to have put a pretty big dent in the radioactivity of the swamp. The fallout has been greatly altered and reduced through experimental magics and technology. Imperium boasts this as their greatest success. It's still not completely safe, but with the right gear, you might be able to scavenge something worthwhile from the natural wreckage. And that's the backstory on the city you guys are in. Miami is a place of glitz and glam. It is a place of high rolling rockers, drugs, parties, sex, rock and roll. The underground scene is huge, but lurking just under the surface of the Miami-Dade sprawl is a very hateful, vicious, and brutal underbelly that keeps everything else afloat. Miami is all about appearances. If you can be the life of the party, you can make it. But being the life of the party typically means being the death of someone else's. It is...
That's how we do.
It is in this environment that a particular fixer who is known to you guys. There's a specific bar where the Shadowrunners like to hang out, and each of you has been contacted by a fixer saying that there's a client who's looking to get a job done. The fixer seems to think it'll be a fairly simple run. He says it's to acquire or locate a lost item. He'll give you the contact information. Each of you, for your own reasons, I'm certain, is itching for a job, be it because you are looking to pay off some gambling debts, looking to amuse yourselves, looking for a new challenge, anything. And as you guys all approach he's a street dock shaman. And as you approach his place of business after hours, the place is already closed. The outside of this building looks very much like a very typical shaman's place. You know, it's made of brick. Remember, this is the sprawl. This is as urban as it gets. Like, this is the cyberpunk, overly densely populated future where people are packed into their apartments like sardines in a can. So you approach the apartment building, and outside, out front, there is, you know, that flickering kind of neon advertisement like that you're used to seeing in like motel windows or like, you know, in a pizza parlor, right? And you know, like one of the letters is plunked out. It's got the typical like stereotypical "I'm a shaman" logos and icons. Like if you could be bothered to, the stereotypicalness and the cliche of it all might trigger your gag reflex. That's all I'm saying, because he's kind of shoving it down your throat. All right. But once you step inside, two things are out of place. One, his place is a complete wreck. Like, it looks like a tornado came through here. There's stuff piled off the shelves, and like the countertops, there's piles of books spilled from everything. Like he or somebody else has been through this place, ransacking the place looking for something. And he himself does not look at all like the stereotypical elven shaman you would expect. Most shamans are they're gonna try and push that psychic fortune-telling image. This guy, though, he's wearing a nice crisp business suit. This is a guy who knows how to present himself for a business deal, right? And he looks fucking exhausted. You guys will enter the building, and the door will do a little ding-a-ling-a-ling behind you, and he'll fucking look up, and like he'll look for a second, like, who the? Oh, right. As the orc follows in, the orc with the cyberware to the bone with the katana and shit, just like walks in the back, right? And he suddenly goes, "Oh yeah, I'll put out the work, right?" And he'll hit a button next to his cash register, and the mag lock on the door will seal shut, so you guys don't get interrupted while you're talking business. So he'll look up after a second, collect himself, say, "I suppose you guys are the ones looking for work, right?"
Yes.
Suppose you're the one got work for us.
This is correct.
He says, "Yeah, I seem to have misplaced something very valuable to me. And I think I might know who's to blame."
Details.
He says the Andolini family. You guys familiar?
Of course.
Yes.
I will look up the Andolini family.
So you've got your augmented reality. Like anybody who's looking through their glasses or their contacts can see the augmented reality. Like it's the virtual reality. Like he's got his menu and he just like makes a motion with his hand, right? And what you do is you look it up. You search Andolini. Andolini is a mafioso family. Like they don't fuck around. They're high class. They like their guns, their drugs, their smuggling. But it's a mafia, right? Notably, they don't have any like listed major presences in Miami, though. If you do a little bit extra searching, you spend a little bit of time poking around and digging into databases you probably shouldn't be getting into, but fuck them, what does the government know, right? You'll find that there are actually minor incidents connected, like, you know, figures and faces of not anybody important yet has shown up in Miami, but they're just starting to move in, and that probably means there's going to be a lot of work for you, because when, you know, because these underground crime organizations tend to be really territorial, and there is no place on Earth that is not infested with crime. So if they're moving in, that means there's going to be conflict between criminals, and where conflict between criminals go down, people are looking to hire people to do all kinds of work.
I will grin, and then I'll keep listening.
He says, so, a couple of months ago, I had somebody approach me with an offer of a service. Namely, if I paid out, you know, the appropriate bill, I would be, protected from various...
Oh, of course, a protection deal. Yeah.
Protection. I'd be protected from various, issues and criminal elements within the city. And,
irony that.
well, I mean, to be honest, it's a little expensive. And, you know, I paid for a few months if I could, because protection's important. You don't wanna suffer any untoward fates. But, business has been a little slow lately, mostly because, property values in the area dropping, and there's something about crime rates going up, and people ain't really comfortable coming to my neck of the woods for my kind of service.
We don't need reasons, buddy. We don't need reasons. Just tell us what's going on.
Well, I was late, and, they didn't like it. And now they got my daughter. Now,
Boy,
wanna
hostages,
bring
I
her
hate
back.
hostages. Alright.
this is now, I would normally just, you know, go to the authorities, but I'm a little concerned for my daughter's well-being.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Trust those people.
I ain't got much. Obviously, if I had much, I wouldn't be in this scenario. But I can shell out 500 nuyen each if you can find my daughter, and there's an additional 500 each if you can pin this on someone else so these fucking Andolini assholes get off my back.
Any suggestions where we should pin it?
Anywhere works for me. As long as it's not me. I'm not a bleeding
Let me
heart type.
rephrase. Do you have any enemies that we can pin this on?
Squeege, can I roll for the local gang area? Because I want to get an enemy gang. I want to get some info on an enemy gang that I can bring up.
Yeah, let's see how useful the information you have on hand is. Do you have knowledge enemy gangs or something?
Street gangs.
Yeah, roll it. That'll be great. Alright. So there is a, Miss Sarah P, that's me, says, I got a suggestion where you should pin it. Zing! There is a local gang. Chris, you know all about these fucks, because you, the player, you understand who the headhunters are.
Yeah.
So I'll let you roll with it. I'll let you roll with it, because you, the player, know the lore, and you can deliver the lore to the audience. Be my mouthpiece!
We got somebody else we can do this on. It'll be great for business. All right, this local schmucks, the headhunters, right? Vicious bunch of chummas that just blood and destruction, and not in the good variety. All right, they don't like outsourcing. They don't like anything really. They just hate everyone who ain't a headhunter, and they're just bad for everyone. So we'll pin it on them, and we all win out in the end.
They
Fine,
misuse the spirits.
This is yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the spirits. Yeah,
In a month, you know, as soon as I got verification that this isn't tracing back to me, you guys will get the extra 500. As far as where to start looking, yeah, I guess you could talk to Vic. Vic Andolini is probably the weakest of the bunch. He'll the one that'll crack first if you have, you know, nice, considerate words with him.
Yeah, I call him nice, considerate words. The sword on my back.
At the moment he mentions Vic, I'll just look him up if I can find him.
Yeah, Vic's, again, you can look him up. He's got a rap sheet. It's public knowledge. He's got he's never been caught for anything, but he's sloppy. You're a Shadowrunner. You know how to not get caught and not be a part of the fucking... Nah, this kid's not as slick as he thinks he is. Now, that said, he's a scrappy motherfucker. and he will not go down without a fight. And he hasn't had it pinned on him. But you look at this kid, you're just not impressed. He says,
So we find him in his sleep?
all I know is that Vic likes to frequent the local McBurger Queen down there. You know, the one across town.
I'm fairly hungry.
Paint?
So what, Kajir?
Got any kind of like paint or anything?
Paint?
Yeah, the head on it say not the subtle type, although I do hear on the download that they're working with the corpse, but it's all risky business. Now I want to just get some paint for the shirts, make some logos. As I said, they're a loud bunch.
I can check. I sell headaches and headache cures.
All right. We'll find something.
We'll probably find some. I will also look up the schematics for the McBurger Queen.
All right, yeah. Okay, so as you look up the schematics for the McBurger Queen, here is what you are going to see. Go ahead and roll me a thing.
Yeah, cracking.
Yeah, that thing. Do that
thing
with the rolling.
You want me to roll about
360.
the streets to find out more about if we can get some paint somewhere, or can we just go?
Oh, you just fucking any old hand. Like, I'm not even gonna charge you a million for it. You can just go buy paint. You have access to a whole city of supplies. The only thing you're gonna need to let me know about, or the only thing we're gonna have to worry about, is anything expensive or illegal. Paint, hammers, nails, whatever the fuck you need, you can find it at a local hardware store. Just tell me what you're doing.
Basically, I'm gonna make my shirt into the Punisher shirt, right?
Okay.
Because I figure that's still the headhunted symbol, if I know my headhunters.
Yep.
A skull. That makes sense.
And who else is going in with me? I'll look to the others.
I'm fairly hungry.
Oh,
Yeah,
I will follow,
yeah,
but I will
hungry.
probably hide out in the toilets or something.
So he says he's hungry, so I'm gonna start spray painting his back. I don't ask him. What about you, Rusky?
Yes, I could eat.
What will you? Yeah, the subtle types. I love it. I'll spray paint him too.
I would probably go in more incognito, so...
All right.
You say
I can't hurt. I'll spray paint the Decker too.
I will sigh and like,
All right. So the schematics on the building. Okay, you've got the front lobby here. Okay, and you've got the core area here. This section right here is the kitchen, right? That's where you're gonna have like your stoves and like your Insta I zap this thing to cooked perfection machines, right? And then the drive-through comes around like this. Okay. There's a parking garage next door in this area. Now the thing is, McBurger Queen is renowned for giving its customers a sense of security. Or, as you Shadowrunners like to look at it, the illusion of security is the business that McBurger Queen has marketed itself on. For instance, you know that there will be no booths in a McBurger Queen because part of the advertising campaign is if a terrorist attack should happen, or, you know, the corporations or them evil Shadowrunning types, whatever the fuck, should just start shooting the place up, they do not want to provide cover to people who will be doing that, and so they do not have booths.
do we have a car or something that we take to this place?
We'll say that you guys have, like, there's a chauffeur character with
I got a
NPC.
motorcycle.
Okay, so Kajir's got a motorbike, that's cool.
I was thinking one of those more, like, vans you can hide out in as you hack.
Yes. Pedophile van, yes.
Yes, one of those.
Okay.
What are those vans where you promise candy and funny stories?
We
Perhaps
covered
this
this, the
elite-
pedophile van, Jesus.
Now, there is a back door here, right, that comes in like this. Okay? And then there's the front door where all the customers come in here. You're probably going to guess the back door is a little more secure than the front door. However, you're going to guess most of their dangerous security is front-loaded. In the world of Shadowrun, you should probably all be aware that shoot first, ask questions later is a legal form of corporate security. And it is thus not uncommon to see security guards who shoot to kill when they suspect something is up, right? Like it's not a pretty world. The world has changed a lot. You are not necessarily innocent until proven guilty because the corporations don't get in trouble for attempting to defend their corporate assets from potentials with lethal force.
I got your potential right here.
So those are the blueprints you're gonna find, Cog.
Yes, I will provide them to the rest of the groups, and I will also I will drop this one on a wall or something.
Everybody here has contacts or glasses or something like that, right?
Oh well, then I just share it.
Yeah, you can totally just you could totally just if you don't you could the guy the Johnson, the guy whose name you do not know.
Can there be a mini map on the top right
That's exactly
right-hand corner of my screen?
Yeah, no, Victor is totally just like, here, and you guys will all have the blueprints show up.
Nobody really cares that I just hacked through the security systems and all that, so...
That makes me unbelievably happy.
This is terrible design, McBurger Queen.
Well, yes, but...
Why is drive-through wrong way?
Why do you care?
I've been thinking of going into franchising.
Yeah, Shadowrun is franchising. That'll work out real well. Tell me how that goes for you.
There might be a drive-through back there or something. I don't know.
Jesus Christ! All right, can we go? Holy shit!
Yes.
So what's the plan?
Well, what can you do for us, Deca?
Well, I can scoop out the security probably when I'm there, but...
Can't do that from here?
Can I? I guess not.
Okay, so you could risk going with whatever is documented in their secret databases and shit.
It's better to do it there.
But that's probably not going to be as up to date, and the information could be flawed. Whereas if you were to sit in the car outside for a bit with your deck and scan the area, you could probably locate devices and figure out a little more detail what's up that you're actually going to be up against.
Yeah.
Perhaps we could just grab him as he leaves.
Nah, because then we're in the streets and he could start running. That's going to be risky business. Better to lock the place down, trap him in like a rat, and then kneecap him, really.
Okay, so there's 2 doors to place. Any additional doors, or just the 2?
I'm guessing when I saw his home address, I know it's a really secure place, right?
Would you be able to disable any turrets that might be there that would, if they decide that the skulls on our clothes are rather potential, shall we say?
Given enough time, I can probably do something.
All right, let's head into the parking garage. We'll see what security they got, and then probably bust them through the back. If you can, if you can time it right, lock down the front doors at the same time as we bust in the back. That way he can't run out the front.
Sounds
and
like
the
a good
cops
plan.
can't get in. It'll buy us a little bit of time.
Could you perhaps enable maglocks on doors?
Well, probably.
Isn't that what the orc said?
I thought he said...
Ain't nobody listened to a goblin. It's fine.
I might also be able to interrupt their signal to the police. I don't know. We will see when we're there.
What does the shaman have to bring to this? I mean, it's pretty obvious what the Street Sam orc and the Super Saiyan adept human are bringing to the group. But what about the elven shaman?
Where do you want me?
Okay, so
Shall I?
You want to see the place before you make any further plans? Is that the group's consensus?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. This is where I figure out what the hell my window. Where is GM window? Why does this always happen to me?
We're professionals.
And I will totally turn my jacket inside out so they don't see my skull mark when I'm traveling around.
Okay, so this is the part where we figure out why the hell... What... Is that... Where is... You guys aren't... Can you guys see inside the place?
No.
Just small little thing.
Oh, now I can
to
see
the
something.
doors.
Not inside this place, though.
You can see this? Alright, so I need to figure out...
Just barely.
It looks like this. Is this the token that has one of these tokens has sight that should not? Got it. All right, now. So you guys will pull up in the car. Your getaway driver, right? He'll your getaway driver's a dwarf, right? And he's fucking high as fuck, but he's good for it. He's a
Sweet.
talismonger, right? And he and the spirits are in charge of this vehicle in ways that you didn't know people could be in charge of vehicles.
Is
right?
he one of the Boston dwarves?
Is he one of the Boston dwarves? He's a little bit like a cabby dwarf. God, his eyes are so bloodshot, man, but he's good for it. Like you've worked with this guy before. So
All I can say
convenient.
is,
you guys will
I
climb out
love
of
working with guys who don't remember that they're working with me. That's what I love.
that. Yeah, totally, right? So he leans out the. Where do you guys want me to park?
You and the spirits can go park across the way.
Could
Alright.
be to have him around back.
You said there's a parking garage nearby, didn't you?
Yeah. You guys are gonna be in the parking garage over here. I don't have it on the map specifically, but it's there.
Okay.
Oh,
You know
well.
what isn't there is this random elf. What random tiny elf is not there. Okay.
Run him down!
Can I scoop out the security from here?
You want to scope out the security?
Yep.
All right. Roll me a cracking logic test.
It's just 11 as before, right?
Yeah, this is not for picking up marks, so you don't get your... Okay, you got a success. Okay, so you are able to detect that there are no smart linked guns in the area, which probably means that if there are criminal... That security guard isn't there either. Jesus Christ, what is going on here? If there are firearms, which, you know, it's the mafia, there's going to be firearms, but you're guessing that those firearms are strictly gun analog because they probably don't have the tech know-how to firewall their smart links properly.
Makes sense.
So you can expect firearms, but you can't determine how many. You are able to determine that there are turrets that are in ceiling panels, and those turrets are in the main the main food area. There is a computer system that is here. It is online, but it is firewalled, and impressively so.
So I can't get into it out of my experience.
You could, but it would take you way too long.
Yep.
Whoever it is that set up the security on that computer was probably Corp. Probably a McBurger King higher up did that, and not anybody you're up against, because these are the guys who prefer to just use analog guns instead of smart linking because they don't understand basic firewall protocol.
Well,
All right. So what's the deal?
turrets in the roof. How many?
Of course, there's turrets.
How many? Two.
Two turrets in the roof. No smart linked guns, but they probably have some of those old crappy ones.
Hey, I like to call them reliable. All right.
Yeah, crappy. I can't find any other
Jackass, I swear.
There's no way you can disable the turrets.
Probably.
All right. See what you can do.
I'd
I
rather
try-
avoid being fired at.
Shall we find a better space than in the open for me?
I assumed
Alright.
that we were all down where my token is right now.
All right, so everybody seems to be moving down, but you'll notice
I
that the
assume
grid
that's
is
where
not
the
turned
van-
on. Like, there's no specific lock to grid here. You can just position yourself wherever the fuck you want.
I assume this is where the van is.
Down here is gonna be where the van is. I have it up on the map upstairs, but whatever. Okay.
Why are you
so-
guys still running?
Oh wait,
Here's
hold
the
on.
back door at least.
Yep, hold on. That is actually, there was a slight problem. We apparently forgot to add vision blocking for the doors.
I was wondering why my arrow keys weren't working.
Also, you also detected, by the by, a very rudimentary alarm system that is not. You see references to it in their security files, but it doesn't seem to be online. Seems to be a very contained, hardwired system. Probably some sort of either like motion sensor or something like that. You know, just a basic screeching alarm type thing.
Mm.
There are
But that
also,
is probably not on front door.
That probably isn't on the front door. No, that would be a rather obnoxious place to have that. You also have detected there are 4 security cameras. They are labeled MR1, MR2, L1, and S1.
Yes, can I try to hack one of them?
You can try to hack one of them. That will be a complex action. You're going to roll me your cracking plus logic. Should you get a success on this, or should you get
6
a
of
hit?
them.
Goddamn, 6? Alright. So, fuck it. You can actually flip through all of them. They are giving you the following viewpoints here. Ooh, I could do this. Oh man, hold on. I just realized when you take control of those cameras, I can just let you, like, you can pull up an augmented reality thing of the feeds, right?
Yeah, I will just hang out in the van and look through the cameras instead.
Okay, so, controlled by, we're gonna give you get control of this camera. Can you see
Oh, this
inside?
is beautiful. Yes.
Isn't that cool? With the cone of vision and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Victor, here, I'm sorry, there is also MR3. And now to go through all of those and actually add me to the controlled by list as well, so the audience can see. Wait, this is not a camera, is it? Oh, okay, that's not.
Can the Decker add this to our various eyesight improving things as well?
Yes.
Because that would be very useful.
Well, if I can do it, I will do it. But it might be like a bit.
Many appreciations.
I mean, it might be a bit distracting to have a live feed of 4 from like 4 different cameras in your.
I am gonna say that having those cameras up would be a minus, like a -2 to all your actions.
Would I be able to put the cameras off to the side when I don't need them?
Yes, however, if you want to actually be able to see what's going on, they can't be off to the side, like in any useful way.
Like,
I will
before
show
we
them
go
inside
in.
what.
Okay, go on.
I will just show them what's inside at least.
All right.
So we can.
So you guys get a look because you're not in the middle of combat right now, right? So actually, let me zoom out one more time here, and you guys can. I'll post a screenshot for you guys of what the cameras are showing.
Unless I'm mistaken, there are 4 cameras and 4 of us. Perhaps each of us could put 1 camera on side, and each of us monitor that camera. So they are not so small as to be useless.
It's not that big a place. I don't think we're going to need the camera feeds when we're in there.
Judging by the camera feeds, probably not, because the camera feeds are primarily, like, even the kitchen is in the main room, so.
I will use them instead of ice though. So do I get the disadvantage when I use them?
I'm gonna charge you -1 instead of the -2.
Okay.
So do we get to see inside?
Yeah. Right now, I linked a print screen in the chat there. So like when you're not in when you're inside, you're not gonna have updated views. But this is what Victor is showing you right now.
And do I detect that I can like disable the security system, the bleeping thing?
Can you? You can't hack into it because it's offline. You'd need to actually you'd actually need to be able to sit there and pull like a classic rogue rewiring. If you got your hands on a physical device, you could use your electronic skill to disable it, probably. But hacking it from a distance is unlikely, which might be one of the reasons why the mobsters like it, because it's not as easily cracked. So they probably have somebody on their roster who might know a thing or two about electronics, just not as much as you do.
I can probably get... so I can get to the door and then hack it when I'm there, if they can't see me.
Alright, tell us about the people that we see on these cameras.
Okay, so the person closest to the door there is or closest to the front door is wearing the ugly red and yellow fucking uniform, complete with the stupid redheaded wig and the crown. Right? And they are looking like you can see the soulless stupidity in their eyes, and their fucking big ass muscled body is being used to mop the floor. Lucy, whose badge clearly says Lucy, is the security guard here after a moment of watching either her partner is out sick or in the bathroom or not here today because she seems to be the only security guard on ground. She is also the only one openly packing heat. Everybody else is packing heat. There are various civilians that I haven't bothered to mark on the tables, just sitting down and eating. If you had to guess, the one back in the corner here is the one that looks most like Vic.
Cool.
And he seems to be eating his fucking like stupid, oh my god, there's more grease than burger. In this corner here, this area, the kitchen looks like it's got a really greasy floor, and these motherfucking cooking devices, these are this is just fucking like mutilation waiting to happen as far as Shadowrunners are concerned. The devices function by running an electric shock through the pre-cooked burger patties, which goes from frozen to greasy fast food perfection in an instant. And if you were to actually throw that switch while somebody was touching the top of the machine, you would send them from frozen to fast food greasy perfection in an instant. After that...
That shit'll kill you.
That shit'll wreck your day, right? And then in addition to that, they've also got to give things like those grill lines to make it look like it's been cooked on a grill. There's also the heat press, which is like a waffle machine. You just go... and you can imagine how painful that might be to somebody's hands.
Alright, so instead of busting kneecaps, we're grilling him.
I like that. That's funny.
I will that half laugh and like just looking back at him.
Okay, so...
No sense of humor for Deckers. Jesus Christ.
So these
Question. What is Headhunter's usual, how you say, MO?
Don't leave witnesses.
Oh, so,
Very well.
Kill all civilians is what I'm hearing.
Unless
if we
you
don't
get 'em out of
leave
there first.
If we don't leave witnesses, how can they know it was headhunters?
Cameras. If you don't think that the mob's gonna have access to a camera that you just hacked into in 3 seconds, I don't know what to tell you, and I don't know how you've been Shadowrunning for so long.
Yeah, I was thinking about wiping them because so they don't have faces, but
You can always just blur our faces.
yes, because that's the Skullcracker's MO.
How we get to Skullcrackers?
I don't really listen.
The hacker gives
Well,
absolutely
at least
no
he's
fucks about
honest.
the street gangs, apparently. Like, whatever, the Skullcrackers, or the fucking, it's Boston fucking Narnicle Cronias, who knows? Yeah, you heard me, Narnicle Cronias.
Hey, if we want to get the civilians out, you said there's an alarm, right?
There is. I mean, if you walk through the door, you will trigger the alarm.
Can you trigger it from here?
Yes.
Yo,
Their alarm
I could.
system can be triggered from here if you want.
I could, but why? I mean, you just go
And we
in
could
anyway.
just trigger it by going inside anyway. What is response time for Imperium?
Imperium's response time, they'll be here in roughly 3 minutes.
Can I get to see the signal? Like just bleep the sound in here and then don't make it go out?
Yeah, you could get yourself a mark on the security system and actually have the localized alerts go off without actually sending a distress signal. You would then have to be very certain that the computer that you can't access isn't used to shoot a message for help, though.
Yeah, well, it's better than nothing.
All right.
The reason we don't walk in to set that off is because if we walk in there with weapons or gunfight breaks out, civvies aren't going to run out, all right? Alarms will get civvies to run out. Gunfights will get them to take cover.
You know what you could do instead
But
of setting
if we
off the
walk in the
alarm-
back door and not run, yeah.
I do want to
Weapons
point this
hot.
out. There are technically two kinds of alarm systems that most buildings will be equipped with. One of which is the alarm that you're looking at, Victor, which is the, let's call the police Imperium alarm.
Yeah, or the fire alarm.
There's the fire alarm as well.
That would work. But would they actually do something if I don't like hack the things so they start to burn?
Okay,
and
so the fire alarm works in a very similar fashion. It will also contact Imperium for about a 3-minute response time, but it'll contact the fire department, not the fire department. There is no governmental fire department. Everything is contracted out to corporations now. But it'll contact Imperium's fire division as opposed to their law enforcement division, and you can block that, and that'll be a lot easier to block as well. People are more likely to think there's a system malfunction or fucking, Joey didn't clean his fucking cooking machine today, etc. Like,
that's better. I will try to keep my so they can't so it's not that obvious they have a decker with them.
Well,
Because,
before you worry about the alarms, get those turrets under control, and then we'll do the alarms. Ain't no point in getting the alarms set off, and you're still trying to get those turrets under control.
Yeah. That sounds good. Shall I try to get the turrets under control then?
Yes, this I'm going to have you roll for, because if there is somebody here who is net savvy, then they might notice you if you fail your attempts to get marks.
Yes, and I will also try to make... I have the fork ability, so I can mark both of them at the same time.
Yep. All right. And also, you are acquiring a mark, and you have a program that makes that a specialty check. So give me a cracking plus logic check with specialty.
Oh, that's a lot of sixes.
All right. Now you are fucking invisible right now, and you will learn that yes, this there is somebody in this network. Like somebody in the local area network is logged in, but probably idling, not paying much attention. And you manage to sneak in very quietly and acquire the first mark on these turrets. You can tell by looking at the files in the turrets, because that's what the first mark gives you, is access to read and copy files. The files in the turrets indicate that they're probably going to be throwing out a dice pool of about 8 dice to attack people as a complex action.
Yes. Do I feel like track a location for the person who is also a decker?
No. That seems to be masked, so they're not completely incompetent. Physical location isn't, like, you don't have a GPS signal on his position.
Yes, but I can...
you don't know where his meat body is.
Do I see through the camera if this one is using a deck or something?
No, as a matter of fact, none of the bodies you can see on the camera are wearing a deck.
And I can't see any additional doors than the entrance door and...
There are doors here for the bathrooms. And there is a door here, which you assume leads into the, this room here with this camera, right? But you do not see any additional doors in these camera feeds.
I'll say, yes, there is a decker inside. If you can find him when you attack, that would be quite good for me.
Alright.
Would you like to build all the way up to being able to control the turrets in full? There are 4 levels of Mark, okay? Mark stands for Matrix Authentication Recognition Key. It's basically your user access levels. At the first level, you should be able to see that you can access a file and read it. At the second level, I think you can cause a device to perform simple actions, right? And then the third level is admin, where you can actually edit files and alter stuff. And then the fourth is where the system recognizes you as an owner.
Oh, that's nice.
And once you're an owner, you can erase other people's marks.
Yes.
So, would you like to... how high would you like to try and get your marks here on both of these turrets?
I have quick question beforehand. What triggers turrets?
They are triggered by it looks like a remote signal from an external device. But once triggered, they are AI steered. Unless you manually override as the hacker.
So what do they aim at?
People.
All people inside, because that seems stupid.
No. They will target intruders. They have recognition software.
So that is perhaps that is what I am asking. What makes somebody an intruder? The outside signal targets certain people as intruders?
The hacker would basically look at you and say, "It's fucking complicated, bro." Like, in short, I as the storyteller don't know the exact mechanics of the software, and the setting just seems to assume that turrets know who the fuck they're supposed to be shooting until they've been hacked.
I was just asking, like, why it wouldn't target other civilians or, like, the guy we're going for or the security guard. I mean, the security guard could be programmed in, obviously.
Yeah, it appears that there's an AI that controls it.
Okay.
How many marks do I need before they don't attack my friends?
You're gonna need 2 marks to be able to edit the files and put yourselves in as safe folks.
I would try to do that at least first.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me logic plus cracking again.
This is going great.
Damn, you are rolling well. For the record, you know that they have a device rating of 3, which means that you have a threshold of 3. What that means is that you need 3 hits or more in order to gain a mark here. Okay, so you now have mark 2. That means you can edit yourselves into the turrets. If you get another mark, you will be able to actually dedicate your complex action to hacking both turrets and controlling who they shoot manually.
Also, make sure that they don't that you edit Anthony or Victor in as safe target as well. We don't want him dying unless we want him to die.
I think he already is, since they have an AI and we are the aggressors.
Yep. You've basically excluded yourself from the list of possible aggressors. In addition, so your options now, Victor, you can either roll hacking again and risk being noticed, but be able to control the fucking turrets, like, distinctly, by spending your turn to just use the turrets. Or you can lay low and just be satisfied with them not shooting you.
We are quite safe out here. I will try to hack them again.
Alright.
This would go so bad. This would botch so bad. Well,
ooh, you barely pull it off.
So close to a botch too.
All right. So, you have managed to take over. Like you have a level 3 mark on both of these turrets, Victor. Do we know what the plan is in total?
I'm guessing they will. While I have a level 3 mark, can I pull off the fire alarms? And
you'll be able to set off the fire alarms with a simple hacking check when we actually go in. But you're gonna want to set the fire alarms off just before you go in, so you're not wasting time clarifying. Yes. So, Victor, you know what you're doing. You're setting off the fire alarms and probably trying to protect your buddies from any hacking that goes on. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, Serranus, do you know what your role in all of this is?
I am your healer, mostly. I am there to make sure that if anything goes wrong, I can keep you alive. Also,
I like to call them damage control.
Yeah.
In addition, Serranus, the counterspelling rules, as spending your free action for your turn, right? You can state that you are protecting a number of people equal to your magic's trait with counterspelling.
So that's everyone.
All right, so you can say, I am protecting everybody who is within your line of sight with counterspelling. And then when they become the target of a spell, you will be able to roll your counterspelling skill versus the spell. And if you beat his roll, that means his spell doesn't happen. So,
and what's the dice for that?
It's the counterspelling active skill.
Okay.
And that's free. That doesn't eat your action or whatever. So you can.
Is that under the sorcery skill group?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
If you don't have counterspelling listed specifically, it's under sorcery. And so, like, that is primarily one of the reasons that you want a shaman or a mage in your group, is because if you don't have one, their mage is gonna fuck you up badly. So you're playing support. The street samurai with all the fucking cybered out cybernetics, you're chromed to the fucking teeth, aren't you? Don't you have, like, I think the sheet actually alters its length to compensate for how many fucking implants you've got.
Where are they listed?
Down to the bottom.
Exterminate!
I'm realizing slight problem. When fire alarm goes off, will not Victor leave building as well?
Yeah, but he's not going to be rushing out the doors. He's in the back.
Do we see very many civilians in here? I mean, we don't have tokens for them, but...
There is a small crowd of civilians, yeah.
I can also knock him out at range.
No, I mean, it's going to be basically... The people who aren't going to be trampling down the doors is going to be anybody who's not really that worried. Anybody who can keep their cool. And I'm pretty sure if he's working with the Andalinis, he can keep his cool, so he'll take his sweet time.
For fire alarm?
Fire alarm in a fast food joint that looks like it could probably catch fire, but with a dirty look?
Fair enough.
I feel like going into the place you were expecting it to catch on fire, so really, it's another day at the office.
Fair enough.
I wonder if we can lit all these grease on fire.
I was thinking perhaps something like send him message that say we are looking to make deal. With a lot of money involved, enough to keep him in, enough to make him not interested in leaving. Put him off his guard. Perhaps.
Why don't we tell him we got some Shadowrunners that are looking to make a deal for a fixer?
Why don't we tell him we are Mr. Johnson?
No, because ain't nobody gonna believe we're Johnsons, alright? Ain't nobody gonna believe that.
Well, no,
He
not
will
dressed
believe
like
that we got hired.
that. Could be true.
And then once he sees the headhunter, it's all gonna be the gig is up anyway. So...
Alright. So as you guys are having this discussion, right, considering your angles of approach, getting ready to drop in, maybe considering like holding back and waiting, right? There is a muffled shouting that breaks out inside the food joint. No such thing as a milk run. No Shadowrun ever goes quite according to plan. You're always missing some information. There is the sound of some guy. Victor, you're actually gonna see this, right? This guy who's nervously, he's been looking at these menu ordering stands, like that, because you don't order food from a person in the future. You got computers that do that for you. Why would you pay all those people to take orders and shit when you can just have a machine, right? So this guy who's been like nervously kind of poking at the machines and having himself a burger, right? And occasionally Victor would look like Vic would look across the joint at him with a fucking sneer on his face, right? And then finally, as the guy eats his fucking burger and like makes this face as he sets down the pile of grease between buns, he turns around and he starts shouting something, which coming through the security speaker, the security cam mics, sounds something like, "You son of a bitch, you ruined me!" And then there's gunshots.
Okay.
So as the gunshots break out, we're gonna drop to top of the hour here. All right. And then Serranus, I know you've been trying to say something real quick here.
Do I see who shoots first on the cameras?
The guy pulls the gun out and doesn't actually get to pull the trigger before Vic plugs him between the eyes.
Okay.
At that point, there will be a lot of screaming civilians running out.
Well, that's convenient.
And we're gonna cut the top of the hour there. And we're gonna be right back after these messages. Who wants to man the guns?
I cannot man the guns, but I would like to point out that we do have 20 retweets.
Do we have 20 retweets? We're gonna have a fucking 20 retweets before the first top of the hour?
We had it in 20 minutes.
Jesus, we are absolutely gonna have to fucking change up the we're gonna have to change up the number. Like that is official. Maybe 25 next time. But we'll have a giveaway when we get back from top of the hour. So